Yes. And some smooth jazz this morning. So, hello everybody. How you doing this morning? My name is Mitch. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel that it's a Tuesday? Can you feel the season changing? Can you feel like winter is on its way? Well, I can certainly feel it. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about emotions, feeling, and helping our viewers of our videos feel something. I feel I need some more honey in my tea. That's okay. So, how's everyone doing this morning? Jump into chat. Let me know what's going on. Well, let's see what happened here. Let's try this again. Oh, come on. I apologize. I'm just dealing with a little technical difficulty on my OBS. I spilled a little drop of water on my iPad and I swiped it. And when I did, I swiped something on my iPad and totally lost. What in the world? That is weird. It's always something. Totally wiped out. Oh well. What can you do? Well, there's that. Well, we're starting off with a bang this morning, aren't we? Oh, well. What can I say? Anyway, how's everyone doing this morning? If you ever spill something on your laptop, don't wipe it off, because half your screen goes away. Holy moly. Wonder what I did. It's very strange. Well, that's life in the big city. What can I say? We're doing the best we can. It's a Tuesday morning. We're trying to get our act together, and it's not working. We're trying our best. Here's the coffee shop this morning. It's kind of busy. A little bit noisier than normal. People doing their thing. I'm just hanging out. All right, nothing like live, is there? Where all kinds of things are happening. But that's okay. Does it really matter? As much as you try to get things set up and get ready to go, there's always something that comes up, something that happens, you know. That's just part of going live. But that's okay. We'll do what we can to survive today. We are talking social media. We are talking YouTube. We are talking what else might come up in chat. So if you're with us, jump into chat and say hi. My name is Mitch. Welcome to live from the Lamppost Coffee Shop. I'm typing into chat now, saying hello. We're at the Lamppost Coffee Shop. We're here weekday mornings, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we talk about all kinds of stuff. We try to talk social media. We try to talk YouTube. If you want to start a YouTube channel, come in and let us know. Let's talk about it. We talk about social media. We talk about how about those Dallas Cowboys? They whooped up last night, didn't they? They did a really phantasmo job against those Raiders. I saw this on X this morning. Rick Miller from the Little Ticket radio station in Dallas posted this Vegas meeting of the Billionaire Strange Hair Club, which I thought was rather amusing. That fella Davis, who owns the Raiders, that's got to be the weirdest hair job of anybody I've ever seen. I mean, I can't talk. The reason I wear this hat, see the chrome dome, the light shining off the chrome dome. If I wear it this way, my face is in shadow. So I've really got no choice. This is it. This is my signature backwards hat look. Cowboys. So I've got when it comes to hair, I've got nothing to say about it. My hair has long been gone. It started going out when I was in college. So there it is. Well, let's look at what we're going to do today and give us some sort of an agenda. What's our lineup for the day? Well, we're just hanging out right now. We're just sort of getting the juices flowing, doing a little bit of intro talk, a little hangout, kind of see what everybody's up to. And we hope everything is copacetic. It's cold in here this morning. I've got my hoodie on, and I seem to be the only one in here freezing, but that's usually the way it is. So we're going to hang out for a while. Then here in a minute, we're going to talk about law number 2. We're going over this week the 5 laws. Excuse me. We're going over this week the 5 laws of content creation. Yesterday, we talked about law number 1, which was getting attention and how important attention is. Attention being everything. Everyone's trying to get attention, and in order for folks to watch our videos, we have to get their attention. We have to provide them some value and get their attention so that we can serve up our value to them. Today we're going to talk about making them feel it, talking about making videos that have emotion attached to it. We're not just providing raw information in our videos. We want to make videos that have some sort of feeling attached to them. We want to make the viewer feel something, not just give them dry information. So that's what we're dealing with today. And then later on we may have a couple of questions we'll go over. And then I've got a YouTuber, someone who has posted a video that I thought we'd look at, do a little critique, do a little look. It's always fun to see what other people are doing and posting and how they go about doing it. And hopefully we can pick up some viewpoints, some tips, maybe learn a lesson or two about what to do or what not to do. So that's the schedule for today, and I'm going to stick to it unless you come up with some other something in chat that we can talk about. That's the plan. All right, let's see. Make them feel it. Make them feel it. Emotions. Law number 2. What are some ways we can make people feel something when we post a video? Well, you know, when you think about music, music is a huge way of generating emotion. Various types of music that we can play will generate emotion. It's amazing how just listening to some instrumental music in the background of a video can enhance the emotion that we're trying to convey. And when we're giving video, when we're talking about content, value is important for sure. Value is certainly important, but also not just value in a dry sense, in search of, just information. We want to do more than just provide information. We want to somehow create some emotion. We want to make people feel the content that we are delivering. So how in the world do we go about doing that? How do we make people feel? Well, I'll tell you, one of the first things I did this morning was I pulled up a list of the emotions. And this is a list of basic human emotions that I got off of ChatGPT. And it might be helpful when we're making a video to look at these various emotions and ask ourselves how we can generate some sort of emotion in the content that we're creating. What can we do? What can we do to create some of this kind of emotion? Instead of just offering dry information. I mean, take the emotion of fear, for example. If we're posting something in our video, can we somehow tell a story of fear or bring in that emotion in some way? Or surprise, trust, hope, guilt, envy, all of these emotions. So when we're making content, maybe it's a good idea to look at this list of human emotions and pick one or two different emotions. Maybe an emotion that we can try to elicit, try to convey. It says here to never tell people what they'll learn, but prove it. So in your video, when I watch a video and I see a content creator say up front, this is what you're going to learn. And then they list 2 or 3 things. This is what you're going to learn in today's video. Well, it's one thing to tell me, and it's another thing to prove it and to show me. And it's always going to be better to show me than to just tell me. Maybe give some examples out of your own personal experience. Value must be felt. You just don't want to tell me something, but make me feel it in some way. Now, how can I do that with what I'm doing right now? Because right now I'm feeling an emotion. What's the emotion that I'm feeling? Well, if I look at this list here in terms of what I feel right at this moment, it's determination. And it's a little bit of anxiety because I feel like I'm a little bit off my center today. I'm a little bit getting off to a slow start. And it usually happens because there's a technical issue that pops up that throws me off my rhythm. And that happened to me a moment ago when I wiped my laptop, and something on OBS just disappeared, and I don't know what I did. So that gets you all flustered. So I'm not just telling you, I'm trying to convey to you that I'm feeling a little bit anxious, a little anxiety. I feel like I'm not hitting on all cylinders yet. And I may never hit on all cylinders today. I may stay in this anxiety type of emotion throughout today's entire live stream. And that anxiety may be communicated to the viewer. And the viewer's going to feel some anxiety. Now, my question is, do I want my viewers to feel that way? Not necessarily. Next point here. Every moment should give a payoff, a laugh, a tip. Every moment. Something else that's causing me anxiety is I'm not able to write on my iPad for some reason. Now, why, I do not know. There's some reason. And again, that's anxiety. It's driving me nuts. I want to be able to write on my iPad. But I'll get over it. Every moment should give a payoff, a laugh, a tip, or a wow. So when we're making our videos, we need to think about every moment, but we don't want to waste our viewers' time. And this comes to the point of, do I want to write a script, or do I want to go from bullet points, or do I want to talk off the top of my head? If I write a script for the video, I can put in these places where I might have a moment of a tip or a wow. I can plan those in advance if I write a script. Or I can do that probably with bullet points as well. Now, it's a little different to pre-pan a laugh. I mean, I'm not sure. So many times humor, when it's forced or when it's prepared ahead of time, falls flat. So I'm not sure about, unless you're a professional comedian and can know how to generate a laugh in written form and know that it's going to pay off, then I don't know. Sometimes laughs can fall flat when they're kind of planned and written ahead of time. So I don't know about that. But the point is, we want to keep things moving in the video. We don't want to settle down, and we don't want to have that emotion of boredom. We don't want our viewers to experience the emotion of boredom. We want them to feel anything else on this list of emotions other than boredom. Because if they're bored, they're going to adios amigo. They're going to leave. Cut anything that doesn't move the story or deliver value. That's the other issue here. We're talking about editing. That's the third bullet point here. Cut anything that doesn't move the story or deliver value. So that comes a lot of times in post-editing when we're going through the video and we're making our edits. And I see a lot of unnecessary footage in people's videos. You look at a 36-minute video, how much of that can be cut out because it doesn't really move along the story or deliver any kind of value. So, and I know people fall in love with their content. They fall in love with their videos. They've spent all day, filming this great footage. and they want to show it, but a lot of times it just has to be cut out. You want to keep the thing moving along. And this idea of the story, so many of us neglect telling a story, and it becomes important to try to not only come up with some sort of emotion and make viewers feel something, but we want to try to give them some sort of a narrative, some sort of a beginning, middle, and end. Try to come up with some way of couching our content in a narrative, in a story. And often that may come in the package of you just telling a story of your own experience of what happened to you that relates to the video content. This is what happened to me. So, part of the anxiety that I feel this morning is because of the fact that I've spilled something on my laptop. I was taking a drink of my coffee my tea, and some of the tea dropped off the cup and landed right in the middle of my laptop. And so I took a napkin and I wiped it. And when I did, it did something to part of my content that I had prepared, and I don't know where it went. So that's part of the experience I'm having this morning. Plus the fact that I've got this iPad and I can't write on it. I've got my Apple Pencil. Finally, there it is. What happened? Cut anything that the story or doesn't deliver away. Finally, my iPad came alive. I can use my Apple Pencil now. I'm so thrilled. So when we're talking about editing, we're talking about cutting stuff that doesn't belong, stuff that doesn't move the story along. The next point here, show, don't tell. Demonstration always beats explanation. Demonstration always beats explanation. So YouTube and video is a visual medium. A visual medium. It's not a lecture. It's not you staring at the camera and giving me a bunch of raw information in the form of a lecture. Because the nature of YouTube is visual. Now, podcasts are very popular, and podcasts are primarily audio, not video. Podcasts are not visual. And so when you do a podcast format and videotape yourself and then show it on YouTube, it can be kind of boring because nothing's happening. We're just watching you talk to the camera. And it's more of a podcast that I can listen to in the background or on the radio or listen to without, I don't have to watch the screen. I can have it on while I'm washing the dishes and listen to it. That's a different type of deal. But if you're shooting content that is primarily visual, then we need to show more than we tell. We need to demonstrate, not just explain. So it's very important to remember that we're talking about a visual format. Ask, if I was watching this, would I feel something? I mean, when you watch a video, ask yourself, am I feeling something, or am I entertained? What exactly am I feeling here? Which of these emotions, hopefully it's not boredom. We want to avoid boredom. Curiosity is a big one. We want to keep people curious. That's going to keep them watching the video. Curiosity is good for retention. People want to hang on to the end of the video to see what's going on. So we have to give them reasons to be curious. Perhaps compassion, frustration, fear, surprise. All of these kinds of emotions, we want to ask ourselves, what are we doing here to promote people watching these videos? If I was watching this, what am I feeling? Am I bored? If I am, then I'm going to click off. I'm going on. Well, here's a example. A tech reviewer doesn't just say a gadget is fast. They film a side-by-side test showing it outpacing the competitor. Viewers feel the speed through the demo, not the description. So you want to show them the speed, let them feel the speed through the demo, not just the description. That's an example. So what we're talking about here is making people feel something as opposed to just telling them. And that's the second law of the 5 laws of content creation. Make them feel it. All right, if you got any questions or any comments, if you agree or disagree with anything I've said, let me know. Come into chat, drop into comments, let me know what's going on as we move through the rest of our day. Again, I'm Mitch. I'm coming to you live from the Lamppost Coffee Shop on a Tuesday morning. We are just hanging out, hoping things are going well. There's the coffee shop this morning. People could care less what I'm doing. I'm not talking very loud, I hope. That's why I've got the mic stuck up my nose, so that I don't have to talk very loud. And hopefully my audio is coming through nice and clear. But most folks are just doing their own thing. They don't care what I'm doing. They could care less. Everyone's got their own lives to lead. I was going to show you my setup. This is me freezing to death wearing my hoodie. I'm over here against this wall and just hanging out. So why don't you join me? Jump into chat. Let's talk about those Cowboys. What else is going on today? Well, let's see. I was going to see about a couple of questions here. Maybe we could go over a couple of questions and see what's in the question bin today. Well, let's see. Question number 1. Where is it? Is it better to post every day or once a week consistently? Every day or once a week? Well, I'm not sure there's a rhyme or reason. I don't think it really matters. I think it's up to you. That's something you have to decide for yourself. Some people post once a month. And depending on the complexity of the video, it may take them a month to pull it off. Most people, I think, though, from, just most of us normal content creators, we try to post at least once a week. But if you post daily, you have to think about quality. Can you really pull together a good quality video every 24 hours? I'm not so sure that's possible. But on the other hand, if you're starting a new channel and you're wanting to get as much content up and running as possible, you may want to go every day or twice a week. And then maybe back off. Let's say you want to post 50 videos as soon as possible. and you give yourself 60 days. You say, I'm going to post 50 videos in 60 days. Well, that's going to average just about one every, just about one every 35, 40 hours. So it just depends. I think the big point here is the word consistently. Whatever you do, be consistent with it. Stick with it. And when I say consistently, I'm thinking for myself, when I think about my own consistency, I'm thinking about doing it over the long term. I don't want to be consistent for a month. And I don't want to be consistent for just 2 months. I'm going to have to be consistent for an extended period of time, 6 months, 8 months, a year. Now, today's live stream, I'm on number 31. I think I'm on number 31, 32. This is my 32nd or 33rd live stream. And I've been pretty consistent. I've pretty much shown up every weekday morning for the last 30 weekday mornings. But that's a drop in the bucket, because I see this as a long-term process. I'm looking down the road 6 months or 8 months. I'm looking at, instead of my 33rd live stream, what's going to be my number 100 live stream, which will come about sometime early next year in 2026. I'll hit my 100th live stream sometime. I mean, I could look at the calendar and figure it out real easily and know on what day my 100th live stream is going to come up. So that's the question, is consistently. We want to be consistent. So you just have to decide for yourself. Can I do one a day and do it faithfully for a long period of time until I get some content up and running, and then maybe back off to once a week? Or do I want to start off once a week and really concentrate on putting out the best video I can in 1 week? I think it's just going to be up to you to decide that. What's the one thing you wish you knew before starting a YouTube channel? I've started so many channels that's a hard question. What's the one thing I wish I knew? I'm not real sure. That's a toughie. Is there anything I wish I knew? Because, this YouTube thing, this creating video thing is so complex and has so many variables. It's not like anything else that you will ever do. It's not like there is a plan. I'm going to give you a plan. Here's the first thing you do, the second thing you do, the third thing you do, and you just go down a list. It's not that kind of issue. It's not that kind of deal. Because there's just too many variables. Each of us are unique. Each of us are different. And that's what makes it both exciting and frustrating, because I can't give you any advice. I can't tell you this is the way to do it. I guess I could, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to give you advice. I'm not going to give you a step-by-step method of creating content, because it's so unique to each person. There are maybe some fundamentals that are, true for all of us that make content. There are things that each of us have to do, but in terms of a step-by-step process, it's not going to happen. So when I think in terms of what I wish I knew, I'm not sure I can answer that, because, you don't know what you don't know. And the best way to experience content creation is to start creating content. And then you learn. You learn for yourself. Because my story is unique and my story and background is different than yours. For example, my college education was in radio, television, and film. I went to a college in Texas and studied. I actually got a double degree, what they called then a double degree that was both radio, television, and film, and photojournalism. And I concentrated on those two things and got what they called a double major. And so I spent a lot of time in the classroom studying radio broadcasting and the history of cinema and those kinds of things. And then I'd go across campus in the afternoons and I would study photography, and I would take pictures all day with my camera and work in the darkroom. That shows how old I am. Back in the day when we didn't have digital film, digital cameras, we actually used a darkroom. So all of this is to say that my experience is unique and my experience is different than yours. And so when someone says, well, what's the one thing that you wish you knew before starting a YouTube channel, I don't know, because I don't know what I don't know. Because I didn't really have any expectations. I guess this idea of trying to know something before it happens, I wish I had known this. It's all about expectations. If you're expecting nothing, then there's nothing you should have known. Because you're gaining knowledge as you experience. You gain knowledge by the doing of the activity. You jump right in with both feet and you start creating content, and then you start developing this idea of knowledge, things that you're going to pick up along the way as you do your thing. So I'm not so sure that's a question I can really answer. How do I keep my videos interesting past the first 30 seconds? We've talked a lot about the thumbnail, about the title, and about that first 10 seconds of setting the hook, trying to get the viewer's interest, and then you want to probably set a second hook around the 30-second mark to keep them going, keep them interested. And it's almost like your video is a set of anticipation. It's a set of hooks. It's a set of making the viewer curious. You want to make them curious, provide them an answer, then make them curious about something else, and then reveal that answer, and then ask them another question, make them curious about something else, and then reveal that answer all throughout the video. And it takes some thinking. It takes some planning. I've been watching a lot of videos with people in their vans, living in vans, traveling across the country, van life, because I'm looking into buying a van myself, and I want to do that. I want to buy a van and hit the road and travel, and then post videos about my adventures, just like they are. And I've been watching a lot of these van life videos of people in their vans, and invariably, many of them fail to tell a story. They basically just show what they do during the day. Here I am on a hike, and they show that. Here I am having dinner, and they show that. Now it's time to do my laundry, and they show that. oh, there's a pretty scene of a lake. Then they show that. And there's no real narrative, or there's no real storyline. There's no real hook or anything that is prodding my curiosity. But there are ways that they could do it if you give it some thought. For example, instead of just showing me the Grand Canyon, maybe put that off toward the end of the video, and throughout the beginning and the middle of the video, you're saying, okay, later on, I'm going to the Grand Canyon. You really want to hang out for that because it's a beautiful scene. I'm going to the Grand Canyon, but we'll be there toward the end of the video, so hang on, stay with me. That's a way of keeping them interested. You don't want to just suddenly show up at the Grand Canyon and then show them the view. Or let's say you had a flat tire while you're on the road. That's something you could really play up dramatically. You could start off the video by saying, you won't believe what happened to me. I almost died on the highway when I had a blowout. And immediately, right up front, you're going to catch the viewer's attention. You're going to catch, they're going to be curious. Well, how did they get out of it? How did they deal with the flat tire out on the middle of the highway? So you got to think about these things in terms of story, in terms of emotion, generating some sort of emotion, generating some sort of story, and some sort of curiosity. Feeding them curiosity and making them hang on in the video until they get that curiosity satisfied. They find out what's going on, that they have their question answered at some point. So it's like setting up a set of hooks throughout the video. About every 5 minutes, you want to set another hook. You're setting a hook. They're going to take the bait. They're going to be satisfied. Then 5 minutes later, you're going to set another hook. And they're going to take the bait. And then 5 minutes later, you're going to set another hook. And they're going to take the bait. And before you know it, they have been through the whole 15, 20 minutes, and it has flown by because they have been provided curiosity, provided some reasons to hang around, some entertainment, some hooks, some reasons, some anticipation. And you're providing them some emotional feeling throughout the video as well. You're looking at that list of emotions and you're thinking, okay, here's a hook that I can provide for them, a hook of fear. I'm going to hook them some way and emote and show them this emotion of fear. That when I had a blowout on the highway, I almost died. And here's a clip of a video. Maybe I had my camera running at the time, and here's a clip showing me panicking at the steering wheel when I had that blowout. It's that kind of thing that we're dealing with here. So, it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. These are just some ideas that we're casting into the wind here. All right, let's see. Another question. Should I focus on storytelling or information? Well, I think we've hit on that. We want to focus on storytelling. Telling a story will always be better than just giving information. We always want to couch the information in a story or an illustration. We want to illustrate the theme of our video and do it by using story if we can. And I'm going to spend a week of this live stream talking about story here as we get into the holiday season. I want to spend at least 5 weekdays, 1 week, talking about story and how to develop story and narrative in a video. And we will take one aspect of telling a story each day that week. And so it's so important because people will be less likely to get bored if we can get them hooked into a story. This is what this video is about, from beginning, middle, and the end. And it's full of suspense, or maybe it's full of joy, or maybe it's full of beauty, it's full of passion, it's full of fear. We're homing in on some of these emotions. That's when storytelling, and that's when video making and content creation can really get exciting, when we start going to that next level of going into these areas of storytelling and creating emotion for our viewers. Then things we get really excited at that point. All right. Well, we've had our questions. So, oh, by the way, this is what happened when I spilled my coffee on my laptop. Now, what in the world happened to my phone? I had the image of my phone hooked up, and I don't know what happened to it. There's the original screen. Ah, look at there. I had to back off and find it. There it is. Hallelujah. Now we got it. So you there? Persistence. It takes persistence, and things will work out. So look at there. Excellent. This is the Lamppost Coffee Shop. We're coming to you live. It's a Tuesday morning in the Austin, Texas area. My name is Mitch, just a reboot. Coming to you live from the Lamppost Coffee Shop, and we're going through our lineup, see what we've done. We've hung out. We've talked about law number 2 of the 5 laws of content creation. We've had some question and answer. How are we doing on time? Not too shabby. We're in about 45 to 50 minutes in. That's pretty good. I try to spend at least an hour. And I don't see anybody in chat that's asking any questions or anything, so we'll just continue on with our plan here. I've got a video I want us to look at before we go. This is just something I at random came across when I was watching YouTube the other day, and I thought we would take a look at it. This is Paige Turner. This is the thumbnail that caught my attention, and the reason it caught my attention is because of the use of cuss words. When we say bullshit or the F word, and she uses a cuss word in the title. It's sort of the easy way to get a click, I guess, or get attention. It's sort of a cheat. It's almost clickbait in the sense that, yeah, it's a curse word, and when you're going through YouTube and you're just randomly looking at thumbnails, when you see a cuss word, it always jumps out at you. So it's sort of an easy way, I guess, to get attention. And so she says utter bullshit here. And so good for her, it got my attention. And then her title, YouTube advice I wish I would have ignored. YouTube advice I wish I would have ignored. So There's a study, an analysis that someone did of all of the titles. Well, I say all. I think they studied 60,000 some odd YouTube titles in the top 1% of YouTubers. They used computer software and analyzing tools, and artificial intelligence, I'm sure, played a role, where they were able to compile all of this data and study all of these titles of YouTubers in the top 1%. And they started studying those titles. And one of the things they studied was a title using first person. I did this. I wish I had advice. I learned this. I. That's first person. How many titles used first person? How many titles used third person? Third person is he did this, or she did this, or why they did that. Talking about third person. And then second person, of course, is you. Why don't you do this? What is your problem? These are things you need to avoid. And what they discovered was that of the top 1% of all YouTubers, their titles, the majority, like 70% of them, used neutral terms, a neutral case in their title, which means they didn't use first, second, or third. They went neutral, which means instead of saying YouTube advice I wish I would have ignored, a neutral way of saying that would have been YouTube advice that should be ignored. YouTube advice that should be ignored. That is a neutral title. And you can see the difference here. When she says the word I and goes first person, the video becomes about her. The video becomes about her experience. This is what she wished she would have ignored. But I am not like her. I'm different. It may not be the same thing for me. I may have liked this advice. This advice may have worked for me. So when you got to think about these things, because when you use the first person in your title, the focus of the video is pointed right at you. You're saying, this is what I learned. This happened to me. And that may or may not be the best way to go about it. So think about that when you're writing your title. YouTube advice I wish I would have ignored. Well, let's find out what that advice was.
Not trying to be a hater about this other YouTube coach, it just was really not helpful, and if I had thought I needed to follow that advice in order to be successful, I wouldn't have made it. I would have quit. Oh my gosh, it would not have worked for me. So here's what I would advise instead.
Okay, what's the advice? What was the advice? Has she said what the advice is yet?
I've been YouTubing for a little while now, but I've been watching how-to YouTube content for much longer than I've been a YouTuber. I took it very seriously. I studied YouTuber content for a while, long before I ever took the plunge myself into recording and doing.
Okay, let me say something about using B-roll. This is a B-roll clip. She used when she said plunge. Let's see here.
Not trying to be a hater about this other YouTube coach, it just was really not helpful, and if I had thought I needed to follow that advice in order to be successful, I wouldn't have made it. I would have quit. Oh my gosh, it would not have worked for me. So here's what I would advise instead. I've been YouTubing for a little while now, but I've been watching how-to YouTube content for much longer than I've been a YouTuber. I took it very seriously. I studied YouTuber content for a while, long before I ever took the plunge myself.
All right, there's B-roll. Before she took the plunge, and then she added this little image of something being plunged, dog jumping in the water. B-roll can be overused and it can be forced. And this really doesn't add any value to the video.
Recording and doing a channel. I watched lots of YouTube coaches.
I think she probably learned somewhere or someone told her that you have to use B-roll to emphasize your comments. People get bored of just listening to you talk, and so you want to stick in some B-roll cuts. And, you know, I don't know.
Took copious notes.
So yeah, there's another one. B-roll number 2, got a cat playing on a keyboard.
How to plan for launching. And the reality is that
And there's another one. So here in about 5 seconds, we've already gotten 3 clips of a B-roll. And it's sort of disrupting. It's not enforcing what she's saying. In my mind, it's causing a distraction.
some of it was really good advice, but some of it almost made it so I didn't do this at all. Implementing all that advice is really overwhelming.
There's another one.
And looking back, I can think of one video in particular. I won't name the coach because I'm not a hater, but they talked about what they would do if they were starting a brand new channel that year, how it would be different. And one of the things they talked about was not only batching videos, but having 4 or 5 videos ready to go before they launch. So I've talked about batching.
Okay, so we finally got to the advice that she wished she would have ignored. And that's making a bunch of videos ready to go and ready to upload when you're starting your new channel. She was advised that you want to have 3 or 4, maybe 5 videos ready to go, and you post them all at once and stick them on your channel when you first begin. And that's what she wanted to ignore. The problem with this is we're 1 minute into the video before she says that. 1 minute in. That kind of information should have been given to me within the first 20 seconds, 30 seconds of the video, so that I would know, number one, that I clicked on the right title and thumbnail. You know, that wasn't just clickbait. This is what, I mean, when you tell me there's advice that you were given and you want to ignore it, that should be the first thing you talk about when I click on your video. You took way too much time getting to this point. We're a minute in already.
In another video, which I'll link below, I stand by that advice. But I will say that insisting that somebody batch when they're starting a brand new YouTube channel, I don't know how I could have done that. So,
okay, there's B-roll clip number, I'm going to start counting them. I think that's number 5.
what's batching? Well, let's talk about what batching isn't. A non-batching approach to YouTubing is sitting down with a camera, like I am with you now, talking, doing your talking bits.
There's some B-roll, there's some B-roll.
Video, editing your video, taking the video, uploading it to YouTube, doing title description, and then putting the video out.
Some more
doing
B-roll.
that video one at a time. Now, a batching approach to videos is...
And something else about this B-roll stuff. The B-roll is all over the map in terms of quality. And in terms of source matter, they're all over the map. It doesn't have any sort of consistency to it. It's a mixture of memes, of clips that come from television shows. Here we've got evidently some sort of a clip from Instagram or somebody doing something. You know, I don't know where she gets her clips. Maybe she just gathers them willy-nilly as she goes along.
Doing multiple videos at once. So if you were batching, you would sit down and you would talk in front of the camera and you would do multiple videos at a time with your scripts and outlines you had written up ahead of time. And then...
Okay, there's another one. She's really, really overdoing the clips here, the B-rolls. There's another one. There's 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 one. It's like every 5 seconds, she's got some sort of a B-roll clip. Way overdone. It becomes a distraction. Now she's adding in some captions, looks like here. I'm not trying to be overcritical. What I'm doing is trying to observe the video that she's making and trying to determine whether it's adding value or if it's taking away from the value of the video. And she's got the video itself is about 7 or 8 minutes long.
Be successful. I wouldn't have made it. I would have quit. Oh my gosh, it would not have worked for me. So here's what I would advise instead. I would advise that you don't have all the videos done, but maybe you have a bunch of ideas, things that you could do videos about. Maybe come up with at least 10 ideas for things that you could do a video about. If you're feeling spicy, you can even outline or script them. Just have them ready.
See, there's no reason to have that come in. There's no reason to have this graphic of spicy
10 ideas
come in here.
That you could do a video about. If you're feeling spicy,
That's just a distraction.
You start your YouTube channel. And when you're about to start, when you're about to record, I would say a neat trick is to announce your intention to post a video a week to your social networks, to your personal social networks, to your friends and family. Even if they don't watch, even if they're not going to be fans of your channel, and in my case they were not, it helped me a lot when I started my platform to make that public commitment, because I hate when I break a promise. If I had only made that promise to myself, it wouldn't have been as meaningful to me as being like, hey guys, I'm starting this and I'm going to post come heck.
Okay. See how she wraps this thing up here. Oh no, she's going black and white on us.
That batch of ideas. But if something happens and you're late to post, regardless of how late it is, whether it's an hour, a day, if you miss a week, don't beat yourself up. Get right back on the horse. Make another video. More than anything, and I think this is why the whole
have 5 videos when you launch a channel
thing doesn't work. More
oh
than
my
anything,
goodness.
All or nothing is your enemy. And I think this is why the whole
have 5 videos when you launch a channel
thing doesn't work. More than anything, all or nothing is your enemy when you're doing YouTube. There are so many ways to be successful. Slightly true. Anyway, it was great talking to you as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Okay, so tell me what you think. What have we learned here? Well, I think number one, the overuse of clips, the overuse of B-roll, just willy-nilly stuck in there every 5 or 10 seconds really becomes a distraction. I'm sure she's got some really good information, and what she said is a lot of it is true to her, but again, this was her experience, and someone may have a totally different experience in terms of batching videos. So it's a personal video about her experience, which is okay. That's fine. I'm not trying to be overcritical. I'm just trying to see if there's some things that she could have done to improve. Number one, get rid of the B-rolls. Just talk to us like a real person, like you're having a conversation with us at the coffee table, and just talk to us. You don't need to throw in all of this extra B-roll stuff because it's becoming a distraction. I mean, I don't need to see. Look at that. I just don't need to see it. There's so much of it. And these graphics are a little overwhelming. We don't need the fancy graphic like that. Just put in some simple text. Just a simple caption, or highlight a couple of words and put them in text. But these kinds of things, these kinds of captions are a little bit old-fashioned, a little bit unnecessary. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth, and I'm sticking to it. So let me know what you think. If you're watching this video a year from now and you want to put something in comments, you think I'm crazy, let me know. But that's what I do, is I like to look at videos and I like to learn from them. I go through the YouTube channel and I try to study what other YouTubers are doing, and I try to learn what I can. So that's where we are today. How we doing on time? Well, it's been about an hour and 10 minutes. Looks like doing okay. I think we're going to wrap things up here and perhaps call it a day. We've talked about emotion. We've talked about law number 2, make them feel it. We want to make people watch our videos and feel something, not just give them information. We want to give our videos some thought, some planning. Because a lot of this stuff cannot be done without planning. So need to think ahead and come up with some ways to create emotion and tell a story in our videos. Tomorrow, I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m., Wednesday morning, live from the Lamppost Coffee Shop. We'll continue to talk about social media, content creation, YouTube, and anything else that comes up. So, everyone have a nice day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching. See you again soon.
And when you ba-da-ba-da-ba